Okay, so I just want to start off by asking you guys some questions. How many of you guys know that stealing is wrong? Okay, and how many of you guys have ever seen somebody steal? And out of those people, how many of you guys tried to stop it? Oh. So yeah, not as many as I was expecting, but I just want to tell you guys about something that happened to me whenever I was in 6th grade. I went to Jefferson Middle School, which is on the south side of Oklahoma City, which is not one of Oklahoma's best middle schools. And when I was in 6th grade, I was not as tall as I am now, and I was definitely a lot skinnier. I think I weighed about 75 pounds when I was in 6th grade. And I kind of look like Jenny. And we had uniforms, and I was always the kid that wore like the right polo and the right jeans, and my shirt was always tucked in, and I always wore my belt, and I always had the right colored shoes with the right colored shoestrings. And my older brother went to school with me. He was in 7th grade when I was in 6th, and he hit his growth spurt a lot earlier than I did, and so he played basketball. And one day after school, I used to wait for him to get done with basketball practice, and I would sit outside of the cafeteria. We had these benches and a whole row of vending machines, and I was sitting there doing my homework, and I remember seeing out of the corner of my eye that this big group of kids coming up from the gym. And one of the bigger kids, he walked up to one of the snack vending machines, and the clear part on vending machines are plastic, and he kicked it in the bottom right corner like as hard as he could, and it popped open. Like it busted. And he would stick, like he held it up with his hand and he would reach inside of it and he grabbed a whole bunch of stuff and was like throwing it out to his friends. And they were all laughing, thinking it was like the best thing that they'd ever seen. And I looked around me and there were some other groups in the area with me and they were looking over at it like, oh sweet, free food, you know? And so like I knew at that point that like I had to do something. So I put my stuff in my bag, and when the kids walked away, I walked over to the vending machine, and being as little as I was, I wedged myself in the hole and I sat inside the vending machine waiting for my brother. And so I sat there for like 45 minutes, I think, with my book, just reading for my brother. And kids walked past me and they shouted things at me and they called me names, but like nobody ever touched me. I just sat there and waited for my brother. So
teachers, students, just a reminder. Students, you have to have a pass to go to an activity, to a club. Today is Group 1, so make sure you check with your sponsor and make sure you have a pass. FCA leadership team will meet in the conference room today. FCA leadership team in the conference room. Thank you.
So what I'm really hoping that you guys take from this is when you look back at yourself 10 years from now, 5 years from now, and if you guys see somebody doing something wrong and there's something that you can do to stop it, try your best to stop it. Because I know that now, whenever I look back at it, now I have a story to tell. And I'm really proud of myself for it. And those people calling me names, they don't bother me now. So it might sound kind of corny, but if you guys look back at it, you might even kind of feel like a hero. Okay? Thank you guys.